G'day, g'day, g'day. It's Sharp and Focus, and we're going to reflect on yesterday, which was Cultivate Awareness, the 3 levels of awareness. Are we aware of what's going on today? Do we know what we don't know? And surely we don't know what we don't know. Well, maybe we do, because we know what's happening tomorrow, yesterday, or is it today? Well, you just have to sharpen our focus, depending on whatever day of the week it is. I just started listening to another Simon Sinek podcast, and it started out talking about how people learn to live with when they're going to die. How does that work? Live and let die. James Bond. Well, you might go to the doctor, and the doctor gives you 6 months to live. Do you change what you want to do, or do you speed up what you're going to do? What about 5 years? He brought it back to 2 and said that's about average. So be more social. Simply say, g'day.
Do you feel like there's never enough time in the day? Are you struggling to switch off from work, the internet, and social media? It's time to reconnect with family, friends, colleagues, and most importantly, yourself. Join the Be More Social Daily Challenge. Just 10 minutes a day to recharge, gain more energy, and enjoy what matters most. Let's begin.
So there we go, Another Simon Sinek podcast. Well, we start with why. That's hopefully what everyone in the room is watching, or has watched, I should say, has watched in the past. If not, perhaps we need the link in the chat box so people can start watching it. So keep in mind there are certain things that I'll ask you to watch as an employee or contractor or someone who is associated with Be More Social. And then there are certain things like podcast, A Little Bit of Optimism by Simon Sinek, or The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. Awesome podcasts. Found another one yesterday, or the day before. Whenever I drove that truck, I was listening to it as I was unloading all the furniture on my own. So why did I start with the life expectancy? So most people run on loops that they're going to live till they're about 70 or 80. It's not until you're given a certain time frame that you're asked, what would you do if you knew when you were going to die? People say, well, my father, he was given 6 months and he was gone in 3. Too soon? Absolutely. It's 25 years ago. And too soon for me. I wish he was still around, so he'd be able to shed some light on what the fuck is going on around here. Because my value system, and this is something else, he was interviewing a woman, Simon Sinek that is, who had breast cancer. She was given a time period. She lost her breasts, as in they lopped them off, and it was a part of her that she held value to. And they were talking about dancing like no one's watching. She keeps doing that to me. She walks between my legs or around my legs, and I lose track of where she is. So I try and look behind, and there's no one there. And then I look down, and she's right there in front of me, which is really cool. I can't flip the camera as I go. But yeah, there's this theme around dancing as if no one's watching. And it's a motto that I always lived by. I just didn't realize it, because I used to dance a lot when I was younger, in clubs and pubs, and I drink bourbon and Coke back then. Didn't like the flavour of beer, and it was the Coca-Cola that kept me going and kept me awake. And my friends would take a lot of drugs, and I'd outlast them. Why? Probably because of all the sugar in the Coca-Cola. But now they've got Diet Coke, and I don't really like the flavour of Coca-Cola anymore. So I like beer. Well, beer is about 80% water. So to me, that's what keeps me going. But I might drink a stein of beer and a stein of water. And my rule is I can't have another beer until I finish the water. So why do I say this? Well, my father came to me 3 months before he died, and he said to me, Dan, I've got a question for you. I've set you guys up. I was about, I want to say, 25, 26 probably, considering I just had my 52nd birthday, probably halfway through what I thought was going to be my life, so 25. I thought I was going to be gone by 50 for a long time. But I'm 2 years into the new life, or 6 months, 4 months, whatever way you want to look at it. So he sat me down and he said, look, you're 25, your sister's 23, and your brother's 20, thereabouts. We're adults. And the doctor's given me two choices. Take your mother away and travel the world and spend what we've got, or stay here and fight it. And I said, go. I got this, Dad. And he chose to stay. And that doctor that gave him 6 months, he was gone in 3. And I blamed myself for years. I just didn't know I was blaming myself. So I should have fought harder to get him to go. Because a couple of months ago, my mother told me it wasn't the cancer that killed him. It was the chemotherapy. I don't believe that either. I believe it was the will to live. Because he decided to believe what his friends told him, to trust mainstream medicine and their verdicts. So, have I been diagnosed with cancer? No. Have I been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes? Well, the amount of Coke I drank, I'd say so. Go, mate.
Okay.
I missed one before that, didn't I? There's 2 guys back there. Well, yeah. But I fought it the first time. Fight it? No. Just ate better. Got rid of all sugars, all fake breads. I don't drink coffee. I had one guilty pleasure. That was beer. But I went back to the doctor and my readings of sugar levels were so low that he said, if anything, you're too low. This was an old bloke. He said, mate, you're fine. You don't have type 2 diabetes. So I went back to my old ways, gave up on that diet. I didn't realise that it was the diet that fixed it or made it better. So I went back to my old ways. Gradually the habits became eating sugar, eating crappy bread, and eating whatever I wanted, drinking more and more beer. I could handle my beer because it's 80% water. But what does that mean? Well, it means this time around my diet is pretty much perfect. When I say that, it means 90% no crap, maybe 99% no crap, just one little guilty pleasure here or there. And I have a stein of beer, a stein of water, and I can't have another beer until I finish my water. Now there's a litre of liquid in every stein, therefore I'm drinking 2 litres. 80% of 2 litres is 1.6 litres of water for every 400 mils of beer. That's 80-20 Pareto rule. Why do I say that? Because I don't know if I'll be here in the next minute, let alone the next day. So I live every moment like it's going to be my last. Because I don't give a fuck who's watching. I don't give a fuck who's listening. Because I might be gone. I could get hit by one of these crazy cars as they just drive by without paying attention. And my pup Pip, right there, is off lead. What does that mean? Be more social. Simply say, g'day.
Thanks for listening as we take on the Be More Social challenge. Join Danny Crouch tomorrow as he shares his journey, and we hope you'll join in too. Drop a comment below. Tell us how it's going, ask questions and share your insights. Find more details in the description or at chooseyourchapter.com.au. Let's make time, boost energy, and aim to be more social today.
G'day, g'day, g'day. It's Friday. Sharpen focus. And we're going to focus on the future or the past or reflect on yesterday. Cultivate awareness. So be more social. Simply say, g'day.